Hello, stranger on the internet that gives me dopamine when you watch my video. We're talking about the beautiful Chanel coat that you saw in the thumbnail and the in-between video from last week. This is my very first Chanel tweed jacket or coat, let's just say tweed product. I will preface this video by saying it doesn't fit me properly, which you will see throughout the video. By the time you're watching, it's already been returned to the real reel. I did get enough B-roll, a decent amount of data to make a somewhat short review on it. I took a lot of positive aspect from this purchase though. We're positive people around here. We look at the bright side, glass full of piss kind of people. Enough intro talk, run a quick intro and let's get to it. Okay, so a bit about this. This is the fall winter 2015 ready to wear, nicknamed the Chanel Supermarket. Solid collection. I mean, I'm not that invested into Chanel because it was out of my budget for the longest time and I don't really have the ideal body type for them. Once again, you know, they're female only for now. I check up on them here and there. Always like their tweed product, the bag of course, and you know what runway they got cooking, because although Chanel is a standalone company, unlike LVMH or Kering, their profit is comparable to those conglomerates. When I first saw this collection, I thought it was a cool set. The clothes were the clothes you expect from Carl and Chanel as a team. Anyway, this coat is on this look right here once again. Not a fan of the matching pants, but I get that a lot of Chanel looks are monochrome or, you know, paired up. Anyway, good runway, new, fresh, as opposed to other runway that look like every runway. Conditions. I got this off of the real and I would like to say the condition of the coat was pretty good. I would say about what, 6-7 out of 10. A few pilling into the fabric because it has some wool in there, some loose fabric, some loose stitches, nothing too crazy. No cuts in the interior lining, which is always a good sign. The cuffs and the collar or lack of collar doesn't have any strong dirt marks or signs of wear. So it was definitely worn with care until it was sent to Arizona waiting to be purchased from the real. The lack of photo can be frustrating when it comes to the real. If you're concerned about that, make sure your product can be returned for a refund, which I really made sure with this purchase because once again, it doesn't fit me. The first detail I want to talk about, the collarless nature of the coat. It's beautiful. I don't love the collarless nature of these Visvim coats, but I am a fan of these ones. Let me explain that. The fabric and build of the Chanel coat make it so that the collarless nature is sophisticated, whereas the Visvim coat, it's pretty streetwear, outdoor kind of vibe. It's not classy, it's not chic. The collarless looks so good on the coat, on the Chanel coat, especially because it pairs really well with the fabric and the tone of the garment. Second, the collar does extend into the neck and the acrylic portion of the material. It did itch my neck a bit, not all the time. I would say 5 out of 10 when I lose focus. My neck is also extra sensitive to any piece of hair of any itchy fabric. I get annoyed. If I were to keep this coat, I would definitely always wear it with a button-up shirt all the time or some form of jacket or turtleneck. I think that would look really good. On the collar, you see this extra white fabric or extra shiny fabric that distinguishes this area from the rest of the body. You also see it along the middle and on the pockets. We can get into it more in the material portion. While I do like this collarless nature, I'll be much happier with a former collar. I love the fit of the collar, not too tight, fit just right. My neck isn't too big or too small. It's pretty good, but collar would have been better. There are 4 pockets on this beautiful coat, 2 on the tops, 2 on the bottom. The top pockets are smaller than the bottom. This is ideal for me. While having it for a day or two, I found myself putting my phone into these pockets often because I always like to have my phone in my hands. And sometimes, you know, I need my hands free to lift something or do something. Once again, you get the extra colorful fabric on the edge of the pocket to signify the pockets or just separate it from the rest of the body, make it pop a bit. I'm very happy that we got 2. Most coat of jacket only have 1 on the left. I find having 2 looks a bit more pleasing, you know, more pocket to store your shit. Silk lining, which is nice. Some brands cheap out by using regular ass cotton because they know most people don't care or look into them. The bottom 2 pockets, they are just amazing. I mainly put my hands in there. I love pockets on the bottom of my outerwear. When I don't have it, it feels super weird and I always make the mistake of trying to put my hands in there, especially on my Visvim coat or my Capital jacket. On all of the pockets, you get a beautiful button in the middle for security's sake. I recently acquired this vest from Visvim and Hiroki decided to do these red pockets and make it stand out. I like the Chanel one because it blends in more. I love that a bit better. No interior pocket, which is a big miss for me. Would have loved some pockets with zippers in there. As great as the middle button-on pocket is, nothing is more secure than a fully zipped up pocket, and especially on the interior. Overall though, big fans of the 4 pockets, you know, what's not to love. If you don't want to use it, don't, but they will be there when you do need them. And now let's talk about the beautiful buttons. You get 9 on the middle that goes all the way down. Incredibly high quality. There's a good weight to them. There's only one flaw. Stitch is a bit too loose. I like my button to be tightly stitched to the body of the coat. The buttons, they remind me of marbles. You can even feel the texture. It's not just with the look. The CC logo is tonal, so it's pretty subtle. Doesn't scream Chanel to everyone on you. Doesn't scream Chanel to everyone around you that be close to you or have seen the runway to know it's a Chanel product, because although I associate tweed jackets and many other associate tweed products to Chanel, tweed outerwears are not unique to Chanel. Talbot make them, so many more brands make them, Dior, LV, everybody makes them. But to me and to the majority of the people in the fashion world, tweed is Chanel, just like mediocre is to Michael Kors, just like basic is to Carol Christian Powell. If this coat would have zipper, I think it would have really cheapened out the coat. Buttons, they're classy, 10 out of 10, no flaw. Well, okay, 9 out of 10, a bit too loose for me. Let's take a look at this beautiful Balenciaga coat. Do you see how aggressive it is in terms of showing off the hourglass shape? This is very similar but not as severe. It looks really good on my woman because she does have a small waist and big hip and she has curves. I've always wanted one of those Balenciaga coats. Buying this kind of made me want to get one of them coats more now than ever. What this means though, any movement you made in the coat, it will be shown on the coat. That's the flaw of form-fitting nature of the hourglass shape. We'll talk more when we get to the sizing. Do let me know if you see the hourglass shape or if I'm imagining or projecting something onto something I have in front of me. Our brains, they do that sometimes. Okay, let's talk about the worst part of this coat and why I'm returning it. The sleeve, they are oh so short. A bit of a struggle in the shoulder and under armpit area, but not enough to make me uncomfortable. The worst part of the sleeve is the length. I would have loved for them to fit more like this jacket because I prefer my sleeve to cover most of my arm. Or all, if possible. If you look at the model on the runway and this lovely woman who were given this look to wear to the runway, you see how it's supposed to fit. I don't think I have that long of arms, but this makes me question how small these two women are, and this is a size XXL, by the way, the biggest size that they made. The look bothered me more than the wearing it part. This can be compensated by wearing a long sleeve button up. My wife decided to put on this pink button up and I think it looks good. Light blue, light pink, good combo. At the end of the sleeve, you get 3 buttons, which is nice. If you don't want the sleeve to be too tight, use the button, make the sleeve bigger. I love the button so much. They're slightly smaller than the main buttons on the coat. Everything else is the same. The sleeves are on the wider side, which is nice. I can put a nice hoodie or sweater for sure. You would think the sleeve would be tighter because of the terrible length of the sleeve. This makes me a bit more angry at how short the sleeves are because everything about this coat is perfect. I'm a bit happy that it doesn't fit me, but also sad. I will explain that at the outro. 5 out of 10 on the sleeve, or 2 out of 10 really. And now, let's talk about the length of the coat. One of my big concerns, as you can see, they sit right above my knees. I am super happy it's not thigh length. I'm content with the knee length, but I would have loved if it were to be ankle length. Honestly, if that were to happen, I might have kept the coat and dealt with the ill-fitted sleeve. You get a nice slit at the end, which is a bit too short for me. Would have loved them to be higher, and a button to adjust how open I can make the coat be. I love how flowy the coat is. Some coats are thicker, so there's less movement, but since this is relatively light because of the silk lining and the mixture of fabric, there's a lot more movement, which I love. I think this coat would have looked amazing had I had the chance to take it to the beach on a windy day. Movement on my garment have become really important lately. Often overlooked, but can greatly increase the love I have for a particular garment. Love the interior lining. Silk, which is amazing, expensive, you know, and if you're not familiar, I put silk and cashmere at the top of my list when it comes to material. You get some CC logo, some flowers, some word I can't make out, so please let me know in the comment what that says. The gray color is interesting. It's fairly inoffensive, nothing to say like, oh my god, the beautiful color, but not bad enough to say, ugh, gross. I would have loved black or light pink or blue, but the gray is fine as well. Surprisingly though, so many lines of stitches. I was expecting one in the middle and one close to the edge on each side, but there are so many more. Was this way out of the bag, or did the previous seller work too rough and the previous owner took it to the tailor? Something to think about. Or maybe it's extra security, something. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Okay, so earlier I said it's kind of light because of how flowy it is, but there is a substantial weight to it. It walks that fine line really, really well, where it's not too heavy or too light. Heavy enough for me to sense its presence, but light enough for air to play a role in its movement. With my Tatlin coat, it's incredibly heavy. With my Bodhi jacket, it's incredibly light. This coat sits right in the middle just perfectly. Here's the official weight of the coat if you're interested. If you look at this coat from afar, you think it's mainly blue. When you get really close though, you get white, black, blue, rainbow from the acrylic or whatever other material has a shine to it. I'm a big fan of the color scheme. It's intricate and sophisticated enough, but not to the point where it feels overwhelming or to the point where it feels empty like an all black or all white shirt or coat. Though the blue is great, the end goal for me is a black and white tweed jacket or all black. Of course you get the shiny look on the jacket all throughout the body. Overall though, the colors, it's a very pretty coat. I am not a fan of the Chanel tag. They should move this part here to somewhere else and simply have this Chanel logo. I sometimes take photo of the tags of my clothes because I'm an elitist asshole that feel compelled to share the brand of my product to show people that I'm rich, even though I am now broke because of my spending habit. I love the way it's stitched. 3 out of the 4 sides are stitched in, so it's more secure than boldy and raft. Embroidery, not printed, which is amazing and what you should expect from a high quality brand. And then you get the material tag, which is placed so high for some reason. It should be a bit lower like all of my other garments. The fabric is inspired by menswear by her then boyfriend, who is the Duke of Westminster, this dude right here. She found the fabric to be, comfortable, soft, but has a sophisticated feel to it. Coco enlisted a Scottish factory to produce her iconic tweed fabric. She was also inspired by the countryside, which is kind of obvious if you go through all of the looks. One of the first celebrities to wear the Chanel tweed was Ina Claire on a magazine cover. Chanel then switched factory to France in the 30s and started to do her, materials to do her iconic tweed, which is materials such as wool, silk, cotton, and acrylic. Today, tweed remains a strong part of the Chanel story and is now made of the house of Lesage out of Paris. The tweed is made by the weaving, the warp, and the weft using a variety of different kinds of threads which create a unique and somewhat irregular appearance. The warp, vertically strung, is background of the fabric, the base that will support the assembly of the material. There can be up to 12 different threads used for a single warp. The weft, woven horizontally, gives the fabric its unique character and can have an unlimited number of threads. Tight, perforated, textured, thick, with a relief, plaited, random, twill. The potential number of effects is endless, the house says. Tweed products are always on the Chanel runway because their customers love it and they sell really well. They also hold up really well. You can find Chanel tweed product from the 50s, 60s being worn today by the rich people in Monaco, in Germany, in not America. With regard to my coat, the material consists of 23% polyamide or nylon, 21% cotton, 20% polyester, 16% acrylic, 11% viscose, 9% wool. A lot going on here. My favorite are the wool and the viscose. I'm not the biggest fan of cotton because it's such a common fabric. Not a fan of acrylic because it itches a little bit, and polyester is also a common fabric. This multicolored pattern is called the Fantasy Tweed. Here are some more tweed patterns that Chanel have used throughout their beautiful history. The overall feel of the coat, it's not itchy, but not itchy. I love that when you run your hand through the coat, you sense different fabrics, so it's not monotonous. The way the material crisscross, it's a very unboring coat. We wear so much 100% cotton this, 100% cotton that throughout the year, and when we touch this, it's different, it's new. A bit rough when it touches the face. I can talk more the material, but it all boils down to I love the fabric, and you will too if you get a Chanel tweed product. Obviously, Chanel is only making women's wear, though this could change by the time this video comes out because of the Hedi Slimane rumor, and even just the fact that Chanel is not taking advantage of the menswear scene, which is growing and could one day match the women's wear side. This is a size extra large of 48 in women, which I believe is the biggest size I'll make. Carl in the house, they love the small, skinny women. The shoulder fits me very nice. No discomfort, which was surprising. The chest fits decent, close to very good. Not uncomfortable, but I wish it were a bit bigger just for more room to breathe. I talk about the short sleeve. I was very concerned about the shoulder and chest and took the sleeve for granted, only for the sleeve to be the only part of the coat being ill-fitted. I already talked about the length, blah, 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 blah. The positive I am taking out of this experience is that size extra large, it can accommodate me, which is nice. I thought I was too big for them, but I can fit an extra large, which doesn't help my self-confidence too much, but it fits. I am planning on losing 20 to 90 pounds so I can get more women to hit on me, so my girl will get jealous and appreciate me more, because we all want something more when other people want them as well. They fit my girl a bit better, and I did ask her if she would like to keep this, but she's also not the biggest fan of the color, so we ended up returning it. With regard to price, I think they retail for 5 to 7Ks. Could be more, to be honest, but I know it's not below 5K. obviously incredibly overpriced, but Chanel has a very enthusiastic audience who will buy anything Chanel sell at whatever price, because Chanel doesn't go on sale. They got great marketing, a great heritage to rely on, a lot of influential celebrity to front their product and get the gullible fans of these celebrities to buy these products. I got this off of the Real for 1.6, which is a lot when we take the high fashion lens off of it. $1,600 is someone's paycheck. Again, I am very fortunate to be able to buy these things and show it off to you guys. I am very, very aware of how privileged I am. I hope that one day I will be able to make more money so I can walk into Chanel store and buy product off of the rack. One day we will get there. Until then, restock the sale and website that sell used products. I had wanted to film a segment with what this coat looked like with different trousers and upper, but I was a bit nervous about getting them dirty and not returning them on time, and the Real will deny me and I'm stuck with a ill-fitted coat. Use a bit of your imagination. I do apologize about this fact because I do want to be thorough, and this is the flaw of having general anxiety. I'm just on edge most of the time, especially with tasks I can do but have to delay. Anyway, I did have a chance to film this coat with different footwear though that you've been seeing, so you're getting 1 out of the 3. Just use your imagining for the trousers and tops. To talk a bit more about what my wife chose to wear, she chose this white CCP kangaroo boots, the wide-legged Rick Owens trouser, the creech I believe, a simple thrifted pink button-up we got for $5. With long coat, she wanted to keep the rest of the outfit simple. The coat has this muted tone, well, blue muted tone. The dirty white footwear, the light pink, is a bit playful, which is her vibe. As you can see, I'm more of an all-blonde, let the blue coat shine, but my wife did it differently, but with the same principle that the coat should shine despite how muted it may look overall. I'm a big fan of her look. Please go gentle on her. Roast me, don't roast her. I'm fair game, not my wife. She's too precious for this world, and you people who get joy out of provoking people online because that's your daily serotonin, please just hit me, don't hit her. Anyway, it's a good outfit in my opinion. If you got something positive, comment down below. If you got some mean shit to say, keep it to yourself. Similar to when people who wear CCP feel the false superior complex when they put on their disgusting kangaroo skin. Meat is murder. There's this sense of sophistication when I put on this tweed coat by Chanel. There's this sense of vacationing in the Hamptons, laughing with my pinkies out while I have a glass of Chardonnay. Our husbands are these chubby white guys with gray hair with shitty fashion because they got so much money. We don't need to obey the dress code. We might do a little swinging when we're at the Hamptons. Might talk about how inconvenient life has been and how tough it is when we see poor people wear Chanel and think they're in our tax bracket. Us wishing Chanel would increase the prices further so these people don't feel as though they can even approach me. And when I am bored scrolling on Instagram, I won't see too many trash outfits with Chanel. Those kind of vibe, you know? Chanel has hold a special place in my heart. I put Chanel and Hermes and Rick Owens on top of the luxury brand market. Actually, not Rick Owens, just Chanel and Hermes, like the luxury of luxury common brand, you know? Everything else below, including Goyard, Bruno, Laura Penis. Hopefully one day I can get invited to their show. I honestly think I can live the rest of my life with just Chanel, Rick, and Crocs. I will never need to touch another brand if money isn't a problem. Kinda happy it doesn't fit me because I realized I want a jacket or a tweed coat. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. My name is Makasy. See you next week. Bye-bye.